Sport. Got one.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 21st of February, 2024. Oh, also, I get some of you are just looking for those quick, straight to the facts, and then there's other people that just love watching my daily vlogs and see what I'm up to. And I love the ramble. I try and keep my intros somewhat short and sweet and to the point, but it's super hard. I don't know. I just feel like I need to get all these little points in, and of course, I always get on a rant. So I'm going to start including down here at the bottom where you can go to fast forward. I'm hoping when I start doing my editing on the computer, I can put in chapters, so that way you guys can skip my little intro, my jibber jabbers, and get straight to the fishing or straight to the content of which the video is discussing. So if you want to skip over my little jibber jabber of what this video is going to be about this morning, fast forward to this. Unfortunately, the last 2 days I've been wanting to take the kayak out, but the mornings are starting off at about 47, 48 degrees, but then it's warming up to about mid-70s by 11. And most of the guys I've been talking to that have been fishing near the Port Canaveral area where I've been wanting to take the kayak out lately have said that in the morning when it's cold like that, the bite's very slow, but it does pick up as the temperatures warm up. But with the temperature warm up the last 2 days, the wind picks up. So today what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to address some it's a pretty common question I've been getting, and that brings me to my next point, and that is I understand if some of you are not comfortable asking questions in the comment section of my videos, or, you know, I don't like asking questions on the internet anymore these days because there's just a million trillion little trolls that try and jump on any question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. So if you have any questions or you want to comment or ask me a few things, you can do what some of you are doing, and you can email me at thumprfishing@gmail.com. I check that a couple times a week, so if I don't reply right away, don't worry. I'm not ignoring it. I'm probably just out fishing. So, with that out of the way, I wanted to address one of the questions that I get pretty frequently, and that is hey, I'm new to Florida too. What is some methods, or what is a rigging technique, or what method of fishing do you recommend for beginners and going to new areas and things of that nature? Well, I would say that I'm going on my second year fishing in Florida. If you watch my channel, you know I've been fishing since was 3 years old. Most of my fishing has been on the West Coast, from Southern California all the way up to the Pacific Northwest of Washington, with a little bit of fishing in the Middle East of Iraq. But Florida fishing is all new, and as you guys know, fishing anywhere new, it's more than just figuring out where the fish are at. You know, there's conditions, there's spots, there's winds, there's temperatures, there's lures, there's baits, there's so much stuff that goes into it. And for me, I was trying so many different new spots, and with all those different variables, my hookup ratio was not anything to brag about. And a lot of times I would go try in new spots, and you're not familiar with the bottom, you're not familiar with the current, and it led to a lot of lost gear and a lot of lost tackle. So I'm going to talk in this video about the popping cork. Now, the popping cork, I wish, is something that I really would have used a lot more the first year that I was in Florida, especially checking out new conditions. Now, this popping cork probably would do great and outside of Florida as well. But the reason why this works out so great especially when you're still learning the area and you're learning the fishing area, is the popping cork can really be adjusted, especially the way that I rig it up, to different depths, so you're not dragging on the bottom, and you could really, you know, slowly start, you know, increasing the depth, learning the area, learning the currents. You could switch out either from bait to lures, plastics, you name it on these things. And of course they have different size of popping corks, you know, different colors, weighted ones, non-weighted ones, you know, just lots of options which I'm going to discuss in this video. So definitely stay tuned. We're going to head over to Port Canaveral. I'm hoping it won't be too windy over there, and I'm going to break down how I set these up, when I like to use them, and when I think that these are going to be game changers for you, especially when you're new to spots or you're new to this fishing in general. I would highly recommend it, just because you're going to lose a lot less gear, and you're going to have your bait or your lure in the water longer, and that's what's going to help increase your hookup ratio. So stay tuned. I'll see you there. All right, everybody, so it is a little windy still, so I'll try and find a nice little protected spot here, and I'll show you guys how I rig up this popping cork. It's definitely something that you could use when it's windy like this. I like to use a little bit of a smaller cork, but the wind grabs it less. But let's see what we can find. All right, so we just had some kayakers roll through, so it's a perfect time to take a little break, and I'm gonna break down on kind of what I use with these poppers. So you have a few different types. You have your traditional popping corks, which you can get from Walmart. As you can see, this one's weighted, and you see these, it's kind of like concaved lips. What happens is when you pop that, what it does is it kind of creates like a slurp sound, which fish is supposed to, you know, think that fish are eating something over there. So it's gonna cause them to go investigate, and then they'll find your bait on the end. These, I still like to, this is some pretty thick stuff here, so what I like to do is add an additional leader to the end of these. So you have your traditional ones like that, and then also like these ones. Like I said, you have a few different types that you can get from Walmart, but I personally like to use the Cajun Thunder. It's also what I'm using on this rod. As you can see, they come in different colors, different sizes, and different weights. Both these are weighted. I'm using the smaller one today just because it's going to get less drag from the wind. But depending on the conditions is when you want to use these. And as you can see on this one, what I have is I have shrimp jig on the bottom. But what you can also do is, like this one's all set up for, see if I can get it out here. There we go. Okay, so instead of putting a jig on it, what you can do is, as you can see, it's got two large beads on the top. And what that does, when you pull that, these, well, I think they're brass, metal, or something like that, that's going to create a click sound. Because you can see that these don't have the concave, so they're not going to create that slurp sound. So when you pull these, it's going to make a clicking sound like a shrimp underwater. Hopefully make the fish come and investigate it. And then you have your leader length, but this one I have with a bait hook, where I'll put a live shrimp, worm, anything like that. And what I like to do is a couple inches up, I will add a split shot, and that's just to get that live bait down into the strike zone of where my leader length is. Now, here's the thing that I also like to do is, when you're moving, we all know depths keep changing, right? So you'd have to retie this leader every single time. Every single time you'd have to retie this leader every time you want to fish a different depth with these. That's not the case. As I saw in an episode of Salt Strong, VMC crankbait snaps. This is your key right here. So what I'll do is I will add that to basically the end here, and then attach my leader length. And I will have, I have like a leader holder, which I'll put a picture in right here. And I will have maybe one set up with 3 feet, 4 feet, and 5 feet. And then what I'm able to do is unclip it, attach a new leader on, and immediately change my depth without having to retie. Or instead of having different depths, you can have them set up to have, you know, one with a bait hook, one with a shrimp jig, one with a little anything really. You can have them all set up with different baits. That way you can just snap them on and you know, think smarter, not harder. The time on the water you want to spend, the more time your stuff's in the water and not tying or fixing gear, the more chances you're going to increase your hookup ratio. So that's something that it took me about a little over a year to figure out, and incorporating these popping corks, and then also being able to change out the depth or the lure of choice or the bait of choice has been crucial to me getting on the water, getting a feel for the bite, getting a feel for the conditions, and then going from there and then using other things. And a lot of times I'll just stick with the popping cork. But as we've seen in today's video, the popping cork, we're getting hits on that, and then we'll also turn around once we're more comfortable with the current or the situation. We'll throw out our paddle tail and we'll get hits on that too. There's another one too that I haven't tried out, but everybody says these are a really good one. This is a 4 Horsemen's. Now these ones have a slight concave and the big beads. You can hear that. So this one's gonna have both. It's gonna have the clicky, and it's also gonna have the sound. So, and they say this is the best sounding, most durable cork on the water. So we'll give this a shot soon. Maybe we'll give this one a review. This one's also weighted. As you can see, you can get them weighted, non-weighted, but you really should have 2 or 3 of these. If you're tight on money, I would say you start off with your usual Walmart brands, but be sure to attach your leader. So the way I like to rig these is I usually use braid fishing line. Now I use my braid. You attach the braid to the top of your setup here. Now if you're finding that your braid is sinking or it's creating a lot of drag, what you could do is attach a good 2 to 3 feet of monofilament line to the end of your braid, and then attach this to that, and that'll help keep that line on top of the water. And you'll also get, sometimes you'll get a little wrap of the braid around here, and then what you'll have to do is just fix it. With that monofilament line, if you put like a 2 to 3 foot little leader before you attach it to this, it does avoid or at least negate as many of the little wraparounds that you'll get on these. But whether it's straight braid or mono, you attach it to the top here, and then you're going to want to go down here. Whether it's this kind or this kind, what I like to do is I'll attach my fluorocarbon leader, and I use the Beyond Fluorocarbon by Beyond Braid, and this is a pink color. And what I'll do is from there, like I said, if you're using live bait, you're going to want to use a bait hook and maybe add a split shot. Or if you're using a jig, no need for a split shot, just go straight to the jig. Now, of course, the length of your fluorocarbon leader is the depth that you're going to be fishing at, because when you give it that jerk, you wait for it to stand up. Once it stands up, you know everything is straight down to the depth that you want it to be at. All right, so now that I did a little brief review on these popping setups, this is what exactly I have going on today. I've got my braided fishing line. That is now going to, I have an FG knot. You can see that right here. I'm not sure you guys can see that. I might have to record this later. We'll see how it comes out. But anyway, I have an FG knot, which then goes to about 3 feet of monofilament. from the monofilament, it goes to the top of the swivel for this popping cork. From the popping cork here, I've got one of those crankbait snap swivel or snaps right here, so I can easily change this part down out easily. And then here I have my 25-pound, or you can go 20-pound fluorocarbon. Today I'm running a voodoo shrimp, and what I like to do is I'm gonna do another video on this. It's super simple and easy. I put all my fishing attractant juices in a spray bottle. I find that I don't waste as much. It's not dripping everywhere, and it's easier to apply. We'll give it that 2 squirts, and we'll toss this out there and see what we can do. All right, so as you guys can see here, what we're doing is we're gonna be using, because it's a little windy, we're gonna be using a smaller popping cork. Now you see these ones don't have the ring around it, so they don't displace the water like the other ones do, but they still do the popping, as you can see here with these beads, the metal beads. And then about 1.5 feet and we have a voodoo shrimp. And we're gonna try and toss this in between the wind here. There we go. Oh, got off. So I get for trying to mess around, turning my other camera on. Should have had it going. All right, well, everybody, next time I'm gonna wait to get the second angle. That's a decent fish too. My jacket, as you can see here, it covers my watch. See, and it kept covering it, and I kept trying to click it, and then my jacket would turn it off, but I was able to turn on. I'll show you now the other angle. That's my bad, everybody. When you hook one, you really should focus. Oy. Oy, 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 oy. All right, let's try again. Let's try again. So yeah, that catch was completely on me. Just messing around. Should have just focused on landing it instead of trying to turn on my other camera. It is what it is, though. It's his lucky day. Hey, at least I still, got a decent bite out of him. It was a pretty decent fish. My guess is just a decent sea trout, but I didn't get a real good look at him. But if there's one, there's more. What I did on that one too is once I got to, the end of my drift here, I opened the spool and kind of let it just go a little further. And yeah, next thing I knew, the bobber went under. Also, as the wind blows your line out, you really want to straighten it, because what happens is that the line across the water will create somewhat of a sail and drag it faster than the current would be normally, and that will present an unnatural presentation. There we go on the popper. Smaller. Hit that voodoo shrimp. on the popper here. It's a little beat up, not like the other one. Like I said, popper gets you on the fish. So we got some fish in here for sure. I just want to give this a couple drifts real quick. There we go. Woo! Beautiful. Yeah, good size one too. This is my biggest of the day. Look at that bad boy. Nice. Voodoo shrimp on the popping cork with the chartreuse tail. Yeah. Yeah, same here. I wish I could hang out here all day. Look at that beauty on the popping cork. Let's get you back in the water, or you can just go back. Whew. As I was showing you guys, popping cork. And the whole key of learning is just the more time it's in the water, the more time and the increased chances of your hookup ratio. Oh, something grabbed it and pulled it there for a second. My guess is there's some little sheep's heads in there. But now that we know the drift, we kind of know a generalized area of where we're getting some strikes or some little fish. Now what I'll do is, if I'm not getting any hits on this, I'll throw out my swim bait. Throw out my swim bait next, probably after this one, and see what we can do. Ooh, boy. Absolutely stunning fish. Look how beautiful this guy is. Beautiful fish. Thank you, bud. Get back out there. Wow. That was a good one. Like I said, using the popping cork, it's been a game changer for me. It's simple. Kind of brings me back to my childhood of using a bobber, but definitely give it a shot. It's gonna help you, it's gonna save you some money, and I really think it's gonna hook up. It's gonna increase your hookup ratio. Oh, look at this guy. It is a little smelly in here. Big old manatee. Manatee. Thing about boat ramp, expect an audience. Alright everybody, I appreciate you watching. Of course I got all my camera and everything packed in. As soon as I was pulling out of the driveway, 2 flamingos flew over me. So the last 2 weeks I've been seeing people looking for flamingos, saying, okay, I saw that article, there is flamingos out here in the Canaveral National Seashore. I almost got a clip of them flying away, but they were just too far and I couldn't find them while I was zoomed in with the camera. But they're definitely bright pink. They are definitely flamingos. So I saw 2 flying around, so there must be more, because I haven't seen this many bird watchers in this area before. So if you're looking to see some flamingos, definitely come check it out. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I was trying to make this video to kind of help some of you guys out there that have been messaging me on you know, a go-to rig that can help them increase their hookup ratio and decrease the amount of tackle that they're losing. This has worked for me. It may not work for everybody. I recommend you give it a shot. You know, you just pick one of these popping corks, whether it's the Walmart brands or whether it's one of the higher end brands, but give it a shot. And I really think that you will increase your hookup ratio. We ran into maybe, I think, what was it, 4 different guys fishing today. I'm not sure how they did, but I know that we got on the fish, and a lot of that had to do with the popping cork. I think we caught 2 of our trout on the NLBN 3-inch paddle, the green. And the rest of the hookups were on that popping cork. with the voodoo shrimp. I think it was like a clear with a chartreuse tail. And yeah. And of course, there's that first one that I lost because I was too busy trying to turn on my other camera angle. So, which was a decent sized fish too. But all the trout today were real decent. It was probably one of my better days. So, like I said, get out there, try that popping cork. It's a great way to explore new areas and, you know, not to lose as much tackle. Don't get me wrong though, I have snagged those popping corks in trees, and yeah, but they're still not as expensive as a lure. So, all right, I'm done rambling. I'm done ranting. Beautiful day. Fished for 3 hours, and we caught just over half a dozen sea trout. So I call that a win. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, hit that like button. It really does help the algorithm push out my videos. And don't forget to subscribe. I was looking at some of the analytics on my channel, and I think it said 90% of the people that watch the majority of my videos from start to finish aren't even subscribed. So definitely hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you tomorrow in the next video. Tight lines, everybody. Peace!